listening to Clarity on Fire, a podcast for people who know what they don't want out of their life and career, but aren't sure what they'd rather be doing.
In a world where it's easy to exist, but hard to feel alive, we, Kristen
and Rachel,
two certified life and career coaches, are here to help you cut through the information overload, get unstuck, and focus not just on how you can have a career you're passionate about, but how to create a whole life that feels fulfilling.
So join us here, where we serve up inspiration and down-to-earth wisdom in a way that only two best friends can.
We want you to experience the relief of knowing that, yes, you're allowed to want more out of your life and career.
And no, you don't have to wander through the dark anymore. Our job is to light the fire that shows you the way. Let's go.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel here with a very quick note before we jump into this episode. Kristen and I recorded this in my dad's man cave, which I thought would have decent audio of all the rooms in this house. And I listened back to it after we finished. I should have done a test. Didn't think to do that. It's not great. So thank you for hanging in there with us this episode while you hear some subpar audio quality. And I'm going to keep testing which room in this house is the best for podcasting. But I'm shrugging my shoulders because you got to do what you got to do when you moved out of your house, which had a great room for podcasting, and now you're living with your parents indefinitely. It is what it is. So thank you and enjoy this message from the universe. Maybe this has something to do with a message from the universe. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to it to see if I can make some sort of weird connection. Anyway, enjoy.
Oh, welcome to my dad's man cave.
As promised, I think you need to give a description of what room we're in.
How about instead of that, okay, first of all, I apologize if the sound quality is different, if it's kind of echoey. I mean, I'm doing the best I can
We're making
the situation we've been handed. Also, Kristen still can't stop coughing, so that we're still.
Now I have a little bit of a wheezy cough, so some of my words like catch. So just fair warning.
How about we play a game and you pick something and you describe what you're looking at, and we'll each do that.
Okay.
What are you going to pick?
Well, right behind your head is a large Civil War painting.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the gun.
A large gun above it, an old rifle hanging above it.
That was actually used in the Civil War, that gun.
So there you go.
Yeah. I see a sign. You can't see it. I spy with my little eye. A sign that has a left arrow and then below it a right arrow pointing the opposite direction. And in the left arrow, it says my way. And in the right arrow, it says highway.
That is very appropriate for your dad's man cave.
There you go. Maybe every time we're here, we'll point out something new. Because trust me, we won't run out of shit to point out as long as we're here.
No, there's a lot. And what if it doesn't all seem to go together?
No.
But
no.
Somehow it works.
Well, it's
for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like we entered into his mind.
Oh my.
And it's scary, right?
It's a little
overwhelming.
A little strange.
Yeah. It's a little chaotic. Anyway, so here we are at my parents' house. Do you know what I really feel like I need more than I've ever needed it right now? What's that? Coaching. I'm not kidding. Like, I genuinely need help. Which makes it sound like I'm not capable of helping other people. That's not true.
That's not how coaching works. You can't be your own coach. No. You really can't.
No.
There's a level of perspective that you can't give yourself because you are yourself.
Yes.
So even the best coaches have coaches.
Yeah, and I am in need of coaching, and I can only imagine how awful I would feel right now, and how confused I would feel, and how scared I would feel, overwhelmed I would feel with all the things going on in my life. If I didn't have a foundation of like a decade worth of coaching.
Oh yeah,
because I genuinely would be like, I have no idea what to do. None. Like, I feel rather trapped in a very difficult situation, and who knows how long I'm going to be here. I would be spiraling harder than I find myself spiraling now. So anyway, I'm just here to say, like, I need it. And so if I need it, well, good God, some of you need it too. You have to.
And
the last 2 years have been really hard. If you hadn't noticed,
I've already had multiple old clients come back in the last couple of weeks to say, hi, so I think I maybe need some more coaching with you, which makes sense at the start of a new year, but also makes sense in the wake of the last 2 years, which have been chaos and uncertainty and anxiety for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To some degree or another.
So here's what I will be, here's what I'll be having some other coach help me with, and I can then help, and then I will also be helping you with. I need to get clear on like where the heck I'm going and what I want to get out of this experience that I'm having. Thankfully, I already have a good foundation, but if you don't have that, then like, oh my God, your experience is going to be that much harder.
Mm-hmm.
So like what you really need is to get out of your own way. And you need to know, I'm telling you, it just keeps coming up. I'm working with a lot of people right now who are like, I don't know what's me and what's the situation. I don't know if I'm bringing a lot of baggage to a situation that otherwise would be fine, or if the situation just isn't right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like starting to rethink everything and my whole life. And so I need to get clear on like, what of my misery or my discomfort or my unhappiness is because of me, because of the crap that like, of the way that I'm seeing my life. Maybe I'm seeing it through an incredibly perfectionist lens and I can't enjoy anything or relax because I don't feel capable of just sitting and like doing nothing for an hour at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know the difference between what's you and what's external stuff, you're going to have a really hard time making any kind of decision or having any idea where you're going.
Yeah.
So that's where we always start in coaching, is getting clear on like what's you and what isn't. And a lot of it's you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I will be the first to admit that a lot of this could be me. My current situation, it feels externally shitty, but there's a lot of it that I'm bringing to the table that could be different. I know that.
Always, but that's what we're all doing all the time. Another theme I'm seeing a lot in coaching that I'm sensing a lot of people are needing help with is there's been a lot of my current clients, a lot of my newer clients have been in the personal development kind of world for a while. They've read the books, they've listened to the podcasts, they've been doing the work, and they feel like, I feel like a younger version of me knew what she wanted or he wanted, but I don't know if that's even what I want anymore. And trying to I guess I figure out like this phase of my life, this version of me. And maybe it's the me that just got a new job, or the me that is, you know, a new parent, or whatever that looks like. You're having to recalibrate. So things that worked for you before aren't working anymore. Maybe COVID showed that to all of us to some degree as well. And I need to figure out what I want now. So even if you feel like you had clarity, maybe it was all the way back in school. I thought I knew who I was and what I wanted then, but I don't know if that's still true. And I feel like I'm not evolving.
I just talked to someone who was having that experience where it's like, I went to school for something and now it's becoming real. And now I'm starting to question whether or not in the transition between, oh, it was a fun idea to now it's a like adult reality. Do I still want to do it? And I'm questioning everything. Yeah, that's
I'm getting a lot of that recently too. So even if it feels like, I feel like I've done the work before, but I don't know if that's, I feel like I need a reboot or a refresh or a figuring out the current me, not the me of 10 years ago. Then
who is she?
Exactly. Right.
I'll know her.
Right. May not have much in common with her, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's something we can get into in coaching as well. Like, what do you want now? What do you want in this phase of your life? Yeah. Who are you today? And let's build a life that works for that person, not for an old you.
There's so much energy that's taken up by not making decisions. I will like just hammer that point home. I said it once, I've said it before. That's how I feel right now. It's like there are so many decisions that sort of need to be made, or I think need to be made, but do they need to be made? So do I even need to make those decisions is like a question.
Deciding whether you need to make a decision.
Yes, and then making the decision. It's so much energy. And so if you have someone else helping you do that, oh my God, the relief, and also how much faster it goes, the whole experience. So anyway, all of that is to say, hey, we're in the middle of our coaching enrollment right now.
We know this is feeling like the right time for some of you. And if you're in that camp of, I really I'm getting stuck in my own head. I'm feeling really uncertain. I want to make some changes, or I'm ready for some momentum. I don't even know where to start. I'm super overwhelmed. Any of that. That is what coaching is for. Mm-hmm. That's why we even use coaching when we seek out coaches as well, because those are hard questions to answer in your own brain. And if you're having trouble, that it would be normal. You can ask for help.
Okay, so one more week. This means that if you're seriously interested in talking to us, you have to know for sure whether you want to do it. I don't know for sure whether I want you to do it. I got to talk to you. I got to know who the heck you are. I got to know what your deal is. So you can sign up to chat with one of us about the possibility on our site. You can either go to the link in the show notes, or you can just go to clardyonfire.com, go to the Work With Us tab, and there's a one-on-one coaching page where you can read all about it. And then you can, sign up to chat with one of us. It is kind of first come, first serve though. Like, we have limited capacity. We always do, because I don't have an infinite amount of time or ability to create more of it, which I wish I did, but I don't. And another important point that we brought up before, but we're going to say it again, because we are, this is like the last time to get coaching at our current rates, because we are going to be raising them next time in conjunction with launching our new website and also our 10-year anniversary. If you guys have ever seen New Girl, which if you haven't, why haven't you watched New Girl? Like, bring yourself some joy. Do yourself a favor. I've been saying that Kristen and I need to throw a Tinfinity party, which is what Schmidt threw a party for him and Nick to celebrate them being best friends for 10 years. So I told
We've been best friends for longer than that, but we've had a business for 10 years.
And we've been coaches for 10 years. So we're kind of doing a Tinfinity. And and so, there's going to be some new things happening in conjunction with our Tinfinity, and higher rates are one of them. So anyway.
So yes, this is the last chance to get in at our current rates. If you're listening to this later, because I know that I listen to podcasts after the fact sometimes, just know we always, well, not always our podcast, but other podcasts.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know all of you, but I hate hearing my own voice. I just have not ever gotten over it. Even in years of podcasting, I hate it.
I don't like seeing my face. You don't like hearing your voice.
I know. We have our little hangups.
Okay.
If you're listening to this later, then we always have a wait list available. So you can always reach out and say, hey, I'm interested. Do you have an availability? We just can't guarantee that we will in between coaching enrollments. But if you're listening to this live, then
we have some space.
Next Friday, February...
I don't know. What the heck? The 1st? I think it might be the 4th.
I think that's right.
Whatever.
Is the last day. Yes, it's Friday, February 4th. We should know that.
Okay.
Is the last day for this current enrollment period.
Okay, great. All right. So we'll chat with some of you, and, just know that I might be a bad coach for myself. I'm an excellent coach for you. In fact, me coaching other people is when I've been the most sane and wise and together in the last couple months. This is I can access that when I'm coaching people.
That's sometimes when I can coach myself. Well, it's almost like a loophole. When I'm coaching someone else, and if it happens to be relevant, I'm like, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
But I can't just do it in a silo. It doesn't seem to work.
No.
And I will say, I don't know how many spots we have left at this point.
That's true. It's been a week.
But I know that they are not all available anymore. And
for a fact.
We didn't have a lot to start with. So
no. Okay. So we'll chat with some of you. And hey, if you're an old client, it's all good.
It's not for you too.
Yeah. Oh, and know that if you're an old client and you ever just want to do a single session, when people have worked with us for a full kind of 6 months, then after that, they can reach out to us at any time and say, hey, I need to do more coaching, and we won't make them wait.
They don't have to wait, and they get access to single sessions anytime they want, not just the very, very rare times that we open them up.
Yeah. To everyone else. All right. You ready for a message? Are you ready?
I think we all
ready is the question.
A message from the universe.
Okay,
to kick off 2022.
As you all know, for a long time, we've been using the Enchanted Map Oracle deck and getting the same goddamn card.
We got so frustrated.
It just fell out as I was shuffling. I'm going to put it back.
Okay.
The Lovers just fell out as I was shuffling in case any of you wanted to know. Actually,
We always
was that
pay
the lovers
attention.
or was the two? It was the two of cups. Two of cups.
It was the two of
I always get them mistaken, but it was the two.
They
of
look
cups. They look
similar.
similar. Okay, that's
We always pay
interesting.
attention to cards that when they jump out.
Yeah.
While shuffling.
But we decided we can't use the.
We need a break.
I just can't get that deep freeze card again. I can't. I have reached my limit and I'm not doing it.
I think I said this last time, but I have a client who's convinced we're still going to get it in the new deck. If that proves true, I throw the whole deck out. I don't even know what to do.
Okay, so I have the classic Rider-Waite deck back, and the interpretations we will read to you are from our friend Madeline Joan, who I will link to her info in the show notes. She is an incredibly talented astrologist and intuitive and tarot reader, and we highly recommend you do
We've
a
had her
reading with
on the
her.
podcast before.
We had her on the
It's been
podcast
a while.
2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, it was a while ago. I think maybe when we first started our podcast, it was over 3 years ago now.
Wow.
So if you want to hear her talk about her predictions for 2019 and see if she was right, you can do that.
It
But
could be kind of fun.
I would recommend that you check her out on YouTube. Her channel is called Zero's Journey, and she does like monthly YouTube readings for all of the signs. And you can, also sign up for
For Patreon community.
for Patreon, or you can also do a reading with her. So anyway, that's where our interpretations of the cards will be coming from. So I'm going to do what I normally do, which is I'm going to give you options. I'm going to do a classic kind of like 3-card spread, but you get to decide how to use the spread. So I'm going to do like, a left card, a center card, and a right card. You can decide, I just want one card to be my message for the day. So you can decide, okay, I'm going to pick the left card ahead of time, and that's just what I'm going to get. You could do past, present, future.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good way to interpret it. And last time I added this in, and I think I like it. I think it would work for today, at least how I'm feeling. I think it could work for today. Is you could do sort of a the problem, the source of the problem, or the nature of the problem, however you want to interpret that.
Yep.
And then the solution, or like, how are we getting out of this? Something like that. What's going to happen, right? So I'm going to let you guys figure that out.
You can always just listen and let the right message come to you.
Yeah, and you don't even have to
That's
pick,
fine.
right? You can just,
But if one of those feels good to you today or feels relevant to you today, go with that. We're giving you some ways of interpreting this.
If you need to pause to think about what it is you want feedback on, if you want to get feedback on something specific, pause and then come back when you're ready. Or again, just let the universe give you a message, because sometimes you don't even know what you want.
It's funny, these are general readings. It's for all of us,
so
but
specific.
we always get so much feedback
I know.
that they're exactly what most of you need to hear.
Like
So
they're
I don't know how it
laughing about
works. We don't profess to have any any magic behind it.
No.
But I trust that it does what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so I'm splitting the deck into thirds. Not very equal thirds, but that's just where I felt called to split it. So here we go. All right, are you ready for all right, it's going to be the left card, or it's going to be the past, or it's going to be the problem, depending on how you're interpreting this. All right? The devil. Well, hell yeah, that's the problem.
Well, that's almost 2 on the nose.
One of the most feared and misunderstood cards in the tarot is the devil. His name alone conjures the image of ultimate evil. But what many don't know is that the tarot is pre-Christian. This fearsome beast does represent darkness, but he's not Satan. He's related to Pan, the horned god of the wild in Greek mythology. Pan, a satyr or half man, half goat, was always getting into trouble for his lusty obsession with chasing nymphs and other pleasurable pursuits. The devil can certainly represent lust and temptation, but he's also the scapegoat, a handy figure on which to project qualities in ourselves that we find to be distasteful. Addiction, fear, temptation, dependency, lust, rage, obsession. The devil made me do it. When we feel cornered by circumstance, but the fear of leaving is more terrifying than the pain of staying, we've met the devil in our lives and in ourselves. In the classic Rider-Waite imagery, a fearsome, grotesque, bat-winged beast perches on a stone pedestal looming over a man and woman enchained to his block. They're nude, an echo of the pairs and the lovers, but these figures do not bow to the power of love, but the love of power. On first glance, they appear to be trapped, but on closer examination, we see that the chains around their necks are quite loose. This bondage is voluntary. They have both grown fire-tipped tails, symbolizing the fact that the longer we choose to remain in the hell of our own making, the more we adapt to our surroundings and merge with them. Are you feeling trapped by an addiction, a toxic relationship, or a dead-end job? What people, situations, or attachments in your life make you feel restricted, low, or dependent? Don't be fooled by the looming threat of your darkness. Don't make yourself a victim. Reach up and remove your chains. It's time to take your power back. Break free.
Ooh,
I feel called out.
Well, if you picked that one, if you picked the left card as your answer, I think that was, especially the last bit there, that was very clear.
Pretty potent.
If you picked it as the past, present, future, then that might be good validation or confirmation that whatever challenge you have recently been experiencing is now in the past and you're moving on to something else. If you did,
it's the problem.
Well, that's I don't even think I need to explain that one. It's kind of self-explanatory.
You're in a problem of your own making, and the way you're seeing it is making you feel trapped. Yes, I know. Okay, let's hear what we have to say next. Okay, so the middle card, or the present, or the nature of the problem, or the source of the problem, however you want to interpret that. Judgment.
Judgment. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to try to read this one, and if I devolve into coughing, then I'm sorry, or we will try again and Rachel will take over.
Okay.
What truth or understanding are you waking up to? A powerful, pivotal decision must or will be made when judgment appears in your reading. Archangel Gabriel blows his horn, awakening the dead to meet their ultimate fate, which of course is decided by their free will. Life is a study in contradictions, you know. You will feel enlivened, pushed to make life-changing decisions now. Epiphanies abound. Marriage, divorce, new faiths and ideologies, leaving or taking a career path. All of these are under judgment's purview. We feel the weight of our personal decisions more keenly and see how they have built the life we currently live. It's as if we've been putting our life together like a mosaic, fitting all our disparate pieces together one by one without comprehending the big picture. But now it's been unveiled. Now is the time to decide what Gabriel's call means to us. Will we remain dead on our feet or choose resurrection? Leave behind the fog of an unclear past to dive consciously into your future. Let the spirit move you. Choose so your life is not chosen for you.
Once again, feel called.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The universe is not playing today with this reading.
It's not.
It's not like...
There's some intense cards.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just...
It's a reflection of how intense the energy is. Or whatever the problems are.
It must be.
Yeah.
So again, if you chose the center card as your answer, then a decision has to be made, and possibly a big one, or a big epiphany might be
in the works
or happening soon. If you chose this as your present, then I think it's asking you to make a decision, and you have to check in with yourself to see what that is. Do you need to make a decision? It sounds like it could be a pretty big one, so it's probably pretty obvious if this applies to you, because these are not like, decide what I'm going to eat for dinner today. This is like life-changing
decisions,
or fork in the road type of a decision. And I'm not saying you have to choose now, but the decision time is coming up.
Choose so it's not chosen for you, because it will be chosen for you if you don't.
And if this is the nature of the problem, kind of fits really right on the back of the devil.
You're experiencing the devil because you're not acknowledging your power to choose either how to see something or what to do next.
So the nature of the problem is you're going to have to choose.
You have to choose.
Right. You're going to have to
wake up to your own power and choose. Wake up and choose. That might be the...
And what's funny is before we even drew, I'm sorry, I knew I couldn't go this whole time. Before we even drew any cards, you were saying not deciding is exhausting.
I know, isn't that funny?
And it's true. And now this reading is like, okay, well then you have to make some decisions.
That's what it's called. All right, you ready for our last
how we wrap this up?
Okay, so this is either the right card if you just want this as your reading. It is the future card, or it's the solution card, or maybe like the ultimate outcome card, right? Like the resolution of the problem, if you want to interpret it that way. Nine of Cups. That's a really good one to get as your, yeah. Okay. So, all right. Are you feeling satisfied with yourself, your achievements, or some recent acquisitions? Are you able to sit back and marvel at the good things that you've manifested in life? When we feel satisfaction, fullness, and a sense of spiritual satiation, we bask in the emotional fulfillment of the Nine of Cups. A portly fellow sits with his arms folded, a proud smile, almost an arrogant one, on his face, as he displays his 9 golden cups on a mantle behind him. The man is clearly wealthy, judging by his fine robes and hat, and demonstrably well-fed, contented. His golden cups are empty. He's already enjoyed their content, so now he's arranged them as trophies to remind him of his accomplishments. These bring him nearly as much joy as sipping from the cups themselves. The Nine of Cups is known among readers as the wish card and is a very happy indicator that we are getting what we wish for. The one point of caution in the Nine of Cups is the temptation to kick back and relax now when just a bit more effort could take this incredible rush of satisfaction all the way over the top. The Nine of Cups suggests that we have all the power in the world to make our wishes come true, so be sure that your wish is aimed high and true and works for the highest good for everyone involved.
Wow. I love the narration of the arc of this story that we're
starting real low
described.
And we're ending up pretty damn high.
So if you just picked the right card, well, great. You might be in a good spot. And this is just asking you to go a little further. You might be wanting to rest and you're really close. But if you just pushed a little bit further, you could really amp it up. If you picked this as the past, present, future, I love that story. The devil is in your past, being chained by your own inability to feel empowered. And then the present is, it's time to make a decision. It's time to make a choice and to step into your power.
Wake up.
And to take the reins of your life. And if you do, in the future, we've got satisfaction. We've got wish fulfillment. It's going to serve you well. So that story is quite clear.
Yeah. What I really like about, just visually, what I like about them is that there's a lot of mirror images here. So in the Devil card, you've got the devil, which is like the big looming figure in the middle. And in the Judgment card, you've got a big looming figure in the middle. It's just the angel, like Gabriel. And you've got a man and a woman chained at the foot of the devil. And you've got a man and a woman in the opposite positions looking up at the angel, right? Yeah. So there's like a mirror image happening here between like what's happening and like how you could perceive what's happening.
And just know you can go to the blog. We'll have the images posted so you can see what we're talking about.
You can also Google Rider-Waite, Devil, Judgment, Nine of Cups, and you'll see them because it's such a, popular deck. And then in the future card or the solution or resolution of the problem card, it's the devil is sitting in his card and the Nine of Cups man is sitting in his card too. And they're like, there's no one else in the Nine of Cups card. But I do kind of like the image, like the mirror image of this one you've got the devil sitting on his throne and you've got this guy sitting pretty on his.
Yes.
And they're two very different kind of thrones, right?
One is hell.
And it's dark and fiery. And one is like sunny.
Yep.
And there's like, trophies all around him. Right.
Satisfaction.
Yeah. He's not actually sitting on a throne. He's sitting on a bench. But it's like, but he's sitting pretty. That's what I always think of. I think Madeline said that one time about the Nine of Cups. It's kind of like the sitting pretty card. And the devil is the opposite. It's like sitting ugly versus sitting pretty. And in the middle, they're not sitting at all.
Right. They're taking action.
They're making a decision. Yeah.
Even if you chose, I think the story is very similar, even if you chose the problem solution.
Yeah.
It's more, what's the nature of the problem? How do you move past it? And then what can you expect on the other side of that?
Yeah. Like this, you're getting what you wish for. This is a great reminder that sometimes you can be in the devil, chained to something that looks really hard and ugly. And it can be what you asked for. It might be the route to get what you asked for. And I have been told that over and over again in my life. And very recently I've been told this. here we are getting reminded again that sometimes the way to get what you want is by getting what you don't want first.
But in between, you might have to...
Yeah, you might have to acknowledge your own power to at least see it differently. It doesn't mean you always have to do something different. It might just mean like you have the power to reframe how you're seeing
that's
the situation.
Its own version of a decision. I'm going to decide to view this differently, not necessarily to take some massive action. And that can be transformative, a new perspective.
Yeah.
It's very almost eerily reminiscent of our side chat last week.
Yeah.
How to tell if a problem is actually serving you. Well, often you get to decide that.
What's the point of pain, basically?
Yeah. And here it's asking you to recognize that you always have a choice in how you perceive it. You always have a choice in how you decide to take back what even a little bit of control you might feel you have. And that might be enough to get you to the wish fulfillment. Well, it's a very hopeful reading, even though it started out seeming heavy. I think it's very positive.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
As always, we'd love to hear how this applies to you, because we're just putting this out there and trusting it's the right message in some way, shape, or form for many of you. So we love to hear how it applies to your situation. That's always fun for me.
And don't forget that the Two of Cups did jump out at the beginning.
True.
Which is kind of like, it's usually the card you get at the beginning of like a new relationship or a venture of some kind. Is like, there's like a lot of potential for blossoming and
potential energy,
potential love, potential emotional fulfillment. So I think that might have just been a little encouragement that like, there's
things are moving.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Things are blossoming. But like, then it was like, okay, well, let's get down with this.
Like, what's really going on right now?
Okay. So, if you want to see, I'll take a picture of these three together. If you want to see them, you can always go to the show notes and go to our site and look at them. Or you can Google Rider-Waite. That's Rider, like Rider, Waite, Waite. And you can, the Devil, Judgment, 9 of Cups, and see if you just want to Google it and see what they look like. Okay.
Maybe to bring it back, as a reminder, we have one more week of coaching enrollment. And so maybe you make a decision.
Make a friggin' judgment about coaching.
One way or the other.
Because some of you are probably trapped by your own limiting beliefs. I'm shaking the devil card at the microphone. Not that you can see it, but some of you are probably ensnared by chains of your own choosing, and you need to make a choice
about how you want to move out of that.
Yeah, and that's a big ideological change, right?
It really
and
is.
Then look, then you'd be sitting pretty with all your cups, just smirking at all your trophies. Right? That is the journey of coaching right there. So it really does love to help us sell coaching. It really believes in it.
I hate it.
I love it. Okay. So we will talk to some of you about coaching and let us know how this reading resonated with you. I always think it's so funny to hear all exactly why it was relevant to you. And then we will be back next Friday with a brand new Dear Rachel.
Okay. We'll see you then.
Bye.